Hello, I am Devendra Patel, a first year BTech civil engineering student at NIT Raipur. Like many of us, I am on a journey of self discovery and I have been using 10 key questions to check in with myself. This video is about that personal reflection, looking at how I am managing my time, staying true to my values, nurturing relationships, taking care of myself, and more. It's about growing as an individual during this exciting time in my life. Join me as I share my thoughts and strive for greater self awareness and balance. The first question is: am I using my time wisely? As a first year college student, time management is a big adjustment. Right now, my priorities are definitely academics, trying to build good friendships and staying healthy. I think I am spending a decent amount of time on my studies, especially with all the new material. But I also make sure to attend social events and club meetings to meet people. Looking at my typical day, it's a mix of lectures, study sessions in the library, club activities, and hanging out with my friends. I try to keep weekends for a bit more relaxation. I could probably cut down on scrolling through social media in the evenings, as I sometimes get sucked into that for way too long. I have started using a planner to keep track of assignments and deadlines, which helps me feel less overwhelmed. It also helps me see how my daily activities align with my goal of doing well in my courses. I am realizing that balancing everything is key and it's okay to schedule downtime so I don't burn out. Overall, I am using my time reasonably well, but there's definitely room for improvement, especially in reducing distractions and sticking to my schedule. The next question is: am I taking anything for granted? This is something I have been thinking about a lot since coming to college. I think it's easy to start taking things for granted when you are in a new environment. In terms of relationships, I definitely appreciate my family and friends back home, but sometimes I get caught up in college life and don't reach out as much as I should. I should probably call my parents more often. With my health, I am trying to eat relatively well in the dining hall and get enough sleep, but it's challenging with the late night study sessions and social events. I am grateful for the opportunity to get an education and I do value it, even when it's stressful. I also recognize that having access to resources like the library and academic advisors is a privilege. Sometimes I do find myself focusing on what I don't have, like more money or a bike on campus. Instead of appreciating what I do have, I am going to make a conscious effort to practice gratitude, especially for the support system I have and the opportunities I have been given. The third question is: am I employing a healthy perspective? I think I generally try to have a healthy perspective, but it's a work in progress. I try to stay open minded to new ideas and different viewpoints, which is important in a diverse college environment. I try to be realistic about my workload and challenges, but I also try to stay optimistic that things will work out. When I got a bad grade on my first exam, it was tough, but I tried to see it as a learning opportunity to study differently next time. I think I'm pretty empathetic towards my friends and roommates, trying to understand their situations, especially when they are stressed. I do try to avoid comparing myself to others, especially on social media, because it's easy to feel inadequate. I am working on being kinder to myself. It can be pretty self critical sometimes. So I am trying to acknowledge my strengths and how far I have come. I am also learning to focus on what I can control, like my effort and attitude, and accept that I can't control everything. Like how a professor grades, I tend to get caught up in the stress of the moment, like an upcoming deadline, but I am trying to keep the bigger picture in mind, which is graduating and pursuing my interest. Overall, I think my perspective is reasonably healthy, but I want to continue to cultivate more self compassion and resilience. Now, the question is, am I living true to myself? This is a really important question, especially in college where there are so many new influences. My core values include honesty, kindness, and personal growth, and I think my actions mostly align with these. I try to be genuine with my friends and not pretend to be someone I am not. I am making choices about what major to pursue but based on my interest rather than just what my parents want. Sometimes I do feel influenced by peer pressure, like going to parties when I would rather stay and study. I am learning to listen to my intuition more and not always suppress my gut feelings. I am also trying to be more accepting of my flaws and not beat myself up when I make mistakes. My daily routine includes things I enjoy like listening to music and playing games, so I feel like my life reflects who I am to some extent. I still figuring out my purpose, but I feel like I am moving in the right direction by exploring different clubs and activities. I am definitely growing and changing, and I'm trying to embrace that as long as it feels authentic in general. I think I am living true to myself, but it requires ongoing self awareness and a willingness to make adjustments when I feel like I am staying from my values. Now, the fifth question arises to be, am I waking up in the morning ready to take on the day? This varies a bit. Some days I wake up feeling pretty rested, especially if I have gotten enough sleep. Other days, especially after a late night of studying, I feel sluggish and groggy. I am trying to prioritize sleep, aiming for 7 to 8 hours a night, but it doesn't always happen with the demands of college. I am working on establishing a better sleep routine, like going to bed and waking up around the same time each day and avoiding screens before bed. Mentally, I feel ready to take on the day most of the time. I am generally excited about my classes and seeing my friends. However, if I have a big test or assignment due, I might wake up feeling a bit anxious. I have a pretty good morning routine that helps me feel energized, which includes eating breakfast, listening to music, and reviewing my schedule for the day. I try to avoid rushing in the morning so I can start the day calmly. I think external factors like stress from school occasionally affect how I feel in the morning, but overall, I am usually ready to face the day. The next question is, am I thinking negative thoughts before I fall asleep? I do sometimes struggle with this. I often find myself replaying conversations from the day or worrying about upcoming deadlines before bed. This can definitely make it harder to fall asleep, and I sometimes wake up feeling mentally drained. I notice that I tend to dwell on negative interactions or things I wish I had done differently. I am trying to be more aware of these thought patterns and redirect them to something more positive. I have started practicing deep breathing and sometimes try to write down my worries in a journal to get them out of my head. It's a challenge, but I'm working on creating a more relaxing and peaceful mental space before bed. The seventh question is, am I putting enough effort into my relationships? Relationships are really important to me and I try to put in the effort, but it can be tough in college. I do make time for the important people in my life, even if it's just a quick call or text. I try to be fully present when I am with them, listening and showing interest and not getting distracted by my phone. I try to check in with people regularly, not just when I need something. I think I am a good listener and try to understand their needs and feelings. I offer support when my friends are going through a hard time. I believe effort in relationships should be balanced, and for the most part, I feel like mine are. I try to express my appreciation for my friends and family and show gratitude for what they bring to me and my life. When disagreements arise, I try to handle them constructively, working towards solutions and compromises. I am willing to meet others halfway. I also try to show I care through small acts of kindness and thoughtfulness. I am invested in the future of my important relationships. Overall, I believe I am putting enough effort into my relationships, but there's always room to improve, especially with consistent communication and showing appreciation. The eighth one is, am I taking care of myself physically? I am attempting to prioritize my physical health in college, but it presents some challenges. I try to maintain a balanced diet in the dining hall, including fruits, vegetables, proteins, and whole grains, but I also give it to less healthy options occasionally. I drink enough water most of the days to stay hydrated. I aim to stay physically active by going out to play a few times a week and walking around campus. I am still determining the right amount of physical activity without pushing myself too hard or getting injured. Sleep is an area where I could improve. I strive for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep regularly as it's essential for my physical and mental health. I am working on maintaining a consistent sleep schedule and creating a restful environment. I am not very consistent with regular medical checkups. I should be more proactive in managing my health by visiting the doctor or dentist when needed and paying attention to any warning signs my body gives me. Stress management is also important for my physical health. I am learning to manage stress and incorporate relaxation and recovery periods into my routine. I maintain good hygiene habits and take care of my skin, hair, and body. My energy levels generally reflect my physical well being. I am learning to fuel my body in a way that supports my active college lifestyle. Now, the ninth one. Am I letting matters that are out of my control stress me out? I do tend to get stressed about things beyond my control sometimes. I often stress about academic performance, especially grades, which sometimes feel out of my direct control. I also worry about the future and things that might happen. I spend time worrying about things I can't change, like other people's actions. When things don't go as planned, I get frustrated or anxious. I am learning to recognize when I am trying to control things that are outside my power. I am working on accepting situations as they are and letting go of the need to control everything. I am trying to focus on the present moment rather than getting caught up in worry. I notice that stressing over uncontrollable matters can drain me emotionally. So, I am trying to practice self compassion and be kinder to myself. I am actively redirecting my energy toward what I can control, like my reactions and choices. I am also using stress management techniques like mindfulness to help me let go. I am learning to keep a broader perspective and not get caught up in small things. I am also working on setting healthy emotional boundaries and not letting other people's choices overly affect me. Ultimately, I am learning to accept what I can't control and focus on my response, which I believe will lead to less stress and more peace. Now, the 10th question and the last one. Am I achieving the goals that I have set for myself? This requires me to really think about what my goals are and how I am progressing. My main goals right now are academic success, building good friendships, and staying healthy. I think these are goals are pretty clear and specific. Academically, I am making progress by attending classes, studying regularly, and completing assignments. Socially, I am building friendships by participating in clubs and events. For my health goal, I am exercising and trying to eat well. My daily actions generally align with these goals. I am staying committed to my goals and putting in the necessary effort. My strategies, like studying regularly and participating in class, seem to be effective for my academic goal. I believe my timelines are realistic so far. I have encountered obstacles like feeling overwhelmed with coursework, but I am learning from setbacks and adjusting my study habits. I am still motivated by my goals and I am maintaining a positive mindset. I hold myself accountable for my progress and I have friends who support me. I am adapting to changes like adjusting my study schedule when needed. I am breaking down my goals into manageable steps. Ultimately, I do celebrate my achievements like completing a challenging assignment or making a new friend. Thank you for taking the time to join me on this journey of self reflection. I hope my experiences and insights have been helpful or relatable.